Good morning, students. This is your preparation for your August exam 2017 for Arts, Music, Drama and Dance. My name is Arenda Herman. The first one is Aims of Education in Namibia. So let us start with the first one. Arts stimulate creativity. Now what does that mean? In short, creative thinking is seeing pictures in your head. So that is what creativity means. Number two is art develops self-expression. Now before a learner can read and write, art is the only way to express what they know, which means if they draw whatever they want to say, they will do in picture form. So that and then if you don't understand the picture, then you must ask them. Don't just say to the child, what did you draw? This is nonsense. Because we are here to encourage them and not to break them down. Still going on with art, with the aims of art, of education in Namibia. The third one is hand-eye coordination. Now, art education is considered to be a useful training ground for motor skills. Now, motor skills and especially hand-eye coordination is so that the child can, in pre-primary, he must be able to write with his crayon or draw with his crayon and look with his eye. That is why we say it's hand-eye coordination, because that is a connotation that you need to make. You can also build puzzles, or you can build blocks. That is everything has to do with hand-eye coordination. Then the last one is art and culture. Now through art education, we also recognize the culture in schools. Now how does art and culture, what is the connection between the two? Every child is coming from his own house, and every child has his own culture. Now every culture of every child is considered art. It can be drawing, it can be construction, whatever art the child is bringing from his culture is called art and culture. Now we go on with how to create a focal point in a painting. Now what does a focal point mean? A focal point means the thing that you can see, because some art are very creative and you can't see a picture in that. But if a child draws something, we must tell him, don't just draw in the middle or on one side or the other. He must spread his picture out on the whole paper. So let's start with the first one. The first one is the emphasis by contrast. Now contrast can be used to increase visibility. Visibility means what can you see in that picture? That is what visibility means. Then the more contrast there is the more contrast there is, the more noticeable an item will be, which I just explained now. So we can make use of shapes or colors. You can make use of patterns, just as long as the picture or what he wants to express is visible in his picture. And remember, this is not just for big art that you see in an art gallery, is also for children's art. The second one is the emphasis by isolation. Isolation is where you can put an object in a format and in relationship to other similar objects, and can have a strong effect of isolation. By isolation I means where exactly is the center of this picture? Is the picture that the child is drawing, for instance, is it a picture of a dog, or is it a picture of a cat, or a picture of an animal? And then when you look at art in an art gallery, is the isolation means the thing that you can see more prominent. More prominent means which is more visible that you can see. So you must not just look at children's art, you must also go to the art gallery and look at different paintings of art, so that you yourself can identify where the isolation is, where the focus of the picture is. Then we still go on with how to create a focal point. Is number 3 is you must also, where is the emphasis by placement? Now placement mean, is it in the center, or is it on the sides, or where exactly is it? So I said, if it is placed in the center, it's often be perceived as a focal point. Now when you go to an art gallery, now you must look at the picture, because some art are very, you don't know what the artist want to say. So you need to stand in front of a picture and look where you can see this focal point. The focal point is where you can see the picture. So that is all you need to know about the focal point. The next one is how to describe each of the following shapes. Now in art we get different shapes. We get geographic shapes, we get natural or organic shapes. Now let me start with the geometric shapes. Geometric shapes suggest the organization and the efficiency. The second one is geometric shapes tend to be symmetrical, further suggesting the order. So by geometrical shapes, what we mean is how is the geometrical shapes is like in shapes that you can use. Like a child will use a circle to make a head. He will use a triangle to make a nose. So those are geometrical shapes. And the second one is natural or organic shapes. Natural is things that come out of it's in nature. So let us see. And then organic shapes means like ideas, like what idea or icon can I use that suggests a shape. So the first one is typographic shapes, are abstract shapes that represent letters. So you can also use letters as shapes to make a picture. Icons are abstract shapes that represent ideas and concepts. Now icons is things in nature that you can see is natural, like the trees. In nature you will not see vertical and horizontal lines. You will see any kind of shape, because God is as a creator. He doesn't have to make use of shapes. He can just use anything. Like you will see one tree is not like another tree. Each of them are different. And icons is things like letters or ideas, things that people use. Like if you look at the building, you will see the roof in a triangle, or it can be a straight line, like a vertical line, or it can also be a horizontal line. So when you walk around, you must look in nature. What kind of shapes do I see in nature? What kind of shapes do people use? Then the last one is abstract shapes. While they can be man-made, like I just said, people use only horizontal or vertical shapes. For example, when they make a building. And then shapes found in nature are like leaves and rocks and clouds. They don't have a specific shape. The next one is clay. Now, what are the advantages of clay? Why do you want children to play with clay? Clay, and the first one is discipline. Now, how does discipline, how does it portray the clay, and how is it an advantage in your class? When children play with clay, there's a certain kind of discipline that you have. Children are more quiet because each one is making something out of the clay that is a creation of inside. So they don't have to talk. The second one, it has a calming effect, which means everybody is calm. There's no talking, there's no walking around. So it goes hand in hand with discipline. The third one is pride and self-worth. What do we mean by pride? When a child finishes a product For example, he made a horse with clay. It doesn't have to be a perfect representative of a horse, but for him, he has pride in it because he made it himself. That is why we said it has pride and self-worth because it came from the person itself. And then the second one is it's stimulating curiosity. A child can make something out of clay that you don't understand and others don't understand, and you tell them, go stand in front and tell us, what did you make out of the clay? Then everybody is curious, everybody is looking with excitement. What did this child make? That is why I said it stimulates curiosity. Then the child will tell us what did he make, and he will also feel proudful of what he made. Then the last one is it's improving coordination. What we mean by coordination is, coordination means how does he work with his hands and his eyes? Does he know where the left and the right side is? Does he know where up and down is? And does he use all this coordination to work on its own without the help of a teacher? Now we get to the genres of music. Now let me explain to you where the word genre is coming from. Genre is a French word which means different. So don't think genre is not something that you don't know. You must just remember that genre is a French word that means different. Now let me explain. There are different genres of music. Number one is a genre is a category of an art form. So like music is just one form of art. Then you get construction making. Then you get painting and things. So so music is just one of the art forms. Second one is it refers to the variety of facets of music. Now what is a facet of music? Facet of music is what kind of music do we have? We have, like I explained in the next one, there are different kinds of music like jazz, classical music, opera, modern music. You have kwaito, you have every kind of music in Namibia. That is what the facets of music are. And then the last one is, it is based on the period. For example, the 20th period. But now we are in the 21st century. So all this music, like jazz and things like that, they come from the 20th century. Now let me explain to you, why is classical music so important to a child? Classical music helps also with the discipline, and it calms a child down. Now classical music is usually used when they make movies like Tom and Jerry. They use classical music. When something is going to happen, the music is fast. When something is calm and it's slow, then the music is slow. And like opera is another one. Opera is where people use music to tell a story. So sometimes you will hear the music in opera, but then you don't understand the language. It doesn't matter because the people are portraying what the music is saying, which means they tell you the story in whatever language it is. Then the positive and the negative effects of listening to music. Now in music we have positive effects and we also have negative effects on the other side. The first one says music improves concentration and attention. When you have a very noisy class, you must always put soft music on for them and calm music on so that it can calm them down, and it also helps with concentration, especially when they do in pre-primary in grade 1 and 2, we let them sit on the carpet and we explain things. They go to their places and then they need to sit and concentrate when they do when they do their work. So music helps with the concentration. Then the second one is music improves the body movement and the coordination. Now music we can also use in PE when they go out and they do exercises. We can do music. We can use music. Now what kind of music can we use? when we tell them, you must listen to the music and you must do what the music say. For instance, if the music is fast, then they can say, okay, now I can run like a horse, a very fast horse, or I can run as fast as a mouse because the music is fast. Then you change the music and the music is slow. And then you say, okay, do something, which animal can walk on this music? Maybe an elephant or a hippo, something that is heavy. And then the third one is music reduces stress and aids relaxation. Now this one of stress and relaxation is when the children have been doing mathematics, they are very stressful because they have to concentrate a lot. So you can put music on to calm them down. You can also use the music after they did exercises in PE. You can also put soft music and say, just lie on your back on the grass and close your eyes, and you put the soft music on and you say, relax, and just listen to the music. Nobody talks. The next one is music. These things are no positive things. Music has aggressive and a hostile reaction. Those things are the negative form of music. When we say music has an aggressive and a hostile reaction, and then also loud music can be a risk for human health. Now, if the music is too loud, it doesn't bring the children down. They cannot concentrate and they make them very stressful. But loud music, and also when music, there's a lot of swearing in the music, that is a negative thing that children don't need, because they can pick up this negative words of the swear words and use it without even knowing, because they will think it's right because the artist is using that music. So we must be very careful when we select music to children. So we need to listen first to the music as a teacher, and then you can use the music for them. So make sure that you choose the right music for your children. And then loud music can be seen as noise pollution in urban areas. Now, urban areas means like big cities, where there's a lot of loud music. Even if you go into a shopping mall and there's a lot of loud music, for some people who are very sensitive, it's like noise pollution. Like it's not good for them. Especially older people don't like loud music. Like me, I don't like it. I like soft music that is calming. But for the youngsters, for the youth, they like loud music. So that is why I said it is not always good to listen to loud music. Then the last one is music can sacrifice values and ethics in communities where there are schools. So you will sometimes there is houses, and that is not what I mean by communities. When there are houses and when there are people around, loud music, schools cannot cope with loud music, because children need silence to listen and to concentrate. So that is why I said it can sacrifice the values of communities. Then I want you to read up on color, because color is a very important thing. When you get to color, you need to know, for instance, what colors are soft, what colors are, like red colors are full of fire and danger, while black colors portray death to them. So you need to read up on color. So let us start with the first one. I said Isaac Newton invented the language of color. Now, all these things of color, you need to read up on them, so you need to know if it's true or is it false. Now, Isaac Newton invented the language of color. Isaac Newton has nothing to do with color. Isaac Newton was the first person. Let me tell you the background of Isaac Newton. Now, one day Isaac Newton was sitting under a tree, and an apple fell on top of his head. And he was wondering, why is the apple falling so hard on my head? And later on, while he was studying further and further, Isaac Newton discovered that the apple fell from the tree on my head because of the gravity. So can you see, Isaac Newton has nothing to do with color. So that is why it is false. The next one is Monet. Can you see? As a French word again. This person is a French artist. Now Monet invented the color wheel. Monet is an artist. He's a painter. So he has nothing to do with the color wheel. He did not invent the color wheel. So which means the statement is false, because Monet is just an artist who used color. So he didn't make use of a color wheel. He made use of a color wheel, but he didn't invent it. The third one is color symbolizes the means, our responses to color. Let me just repeat myself. Color symbolizes the means, our responses to color are not just biological. Now, biological things are things like when I see a black, I will think of death. When I see something red, then I know it's danger or it's warmth. When I look at something white, then I know it's peace. When I look at something like yellow, I know it is a bright color like the sun. It brings life. That is what biological means. And then the last one is purple symbolizes death and sorrow. Purple has nothing to do with death and sorrow. Black has to do with black and sorrow. Purple has to do with royalty. So you need to read up so that I don't catch you out, that you didn't read up, because you will say yes, or you will say it's true or it's false. So you need to read up on color. And when I speak about color, there will be no long questions about color. It's just what does it symbolizes, and so on. And this is the end of my presentation. There's my name, Arenda Herman again. The time that you must contact me is from 14 to 17 hours in the afternoon after school, because I'm teaching in the morning. So if you want to hear or find out something, or you want to inquire about something, please send me an SMS in the morning or until 1 o'clock, because I'm teaching. And in the evenings, you cannot call me from 18 hours onwards, because I'm also studying. So please make use of the hours that you have in the afternoon. And if you want to know something in the evening, just send me an SMS with your answer and your name and from which region you are calling me, and I will come back to you even if it's the next morning. And my cell phone number is 081 644 2582.